Welcome to Chokeholds Chill. I'm Jenn, middle-aged grappler, coffee addict, and proud owner of the world's ugliest armbar.
And I'm Mallory, your training partner who's always laughing, even when being absolutely smashed, submission lover, and early bird fundamentals coach.
Here on Chokeholds Chill, we dive into the lives of our favorite sparring partners, the highs and lows of training, and what it really means to chase big dreams on and off the mats.
But it's not just about Jiu Jitsu. We're here for the laughs, the lessons, and the moments that remind us why we love this crazy sport and this crazy life.
We're here to talk about the good, the bad, and the hilarious, because let's face it, the mat teaches us more than just arm bars and mount escapes.
It teaches us about ourselves and how to navigate through life while being a part of an incredible community of people.
I mean, that's how we met.
Whether you're a seasoned competitor, a white belt finding your footing, or someone who just loves a good story, this podcast is for you.
It's about the roles we take, the people we meet, and the lessons that stick with us both on and off the mats.
So grab your gi, tie your belt tight, and get ready to roll with us.
This is Chokeholds Chill. Let's get into it. You're a stage performer.
Yeah.
You're fine.
It's just been like 10 years.
Do you miss it?
Do I miss honestly? I miss how I felt afterwards. Like everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, great job. You know, that was amazing. Like, you made me cry, all that shit." But I hate the nerves building up to any of it. Like that part alone is enough that it makes me almost not want to do it.
Did you find your first jiu-jitsu competition similar to that?
Exactly like that. Almost
Really?
worse because it's like I almost felt like I was representing, you know, like I'm representing the gym. I'm representing. Nobody gives a shit.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's not like dance. Nobody gives a shit.
Right.
And before, if you fuck your performance up, you're going to hear about
that's
it.
like a big deal.
Welcome back to Chokeholds Chill. So in case you haven't figured it out, we've got Christian here with Mallory and I. Christian, hello.
Hello.
Are we calling you Christian or Lemon Drop Chrissy?
Listen, if you want to switch between the two, I'm A-okay with that.
I'm going to add Chrissy Boy to the list.
That's another one, another good name. We met Christian in Jiu Jitsu.
How we meet most of our friends.
Christian is the same age as my children. So that's the fun part about Jiu Jitsu. Your friend's mom can fight you.
Yeah. I love fighting my friend's mom.
We'll go ahead and start with our roll call. Jen, you want to start it off? What are your recent wins, positive things happening?
Positive things. Well, I'm still off right now, so a lot of good, positive life things are happening. I'm just focusing on work and building the business up and just really just chilling out. How about you, Mallory?
I'm going to share just a fun work story because it's worth hearing and it made me really happy this week. I was working with a patient in the hospital. They're in the older population, like, you know, over 75. Little old white lady. And I walk in and she's got BET on and she is jamming out to some like R&B and rap, got the videos on. And I was like, nice. I'm like, what are you watching? She's like, I watch this all the time. I find the dancing so fascinating. And I was like, I
can get jiggy
love
with that.
you so much. And then I felt so bad because I was like, I have to do a cognitive assessment on you. So I like have to mute the TV for a little while. So I felt really bad, but we got her back to BET as soon as we could.
That's just going to be our generation when we're older.
Yeah.
My nieces and nephews, they already have great taste in music, but I mean, I can't wait till they're older and we can be like, skeet, skeet, motherfucker.
It'll be interesting to see what they pick. Braxton's obsessed with like 21 Pilots, anything that his dad listens to. So right now it's Heathens on repeat, and his headphones are broken, so it's a little much when the kids get into the music.
Van has just like started to like dancing again.
God, yeah.
And so anytime like a song with a good beat comes on, he'll like raise his arms up in the air and he goes, dance. And then he starts like galloping around the house with his arms like this.
That's so precious.
So
Yeah.
cute.
It's the cutest thing I've ever heard.
Very cute.
Okay, so yeah, give us your roll call.
Okay. Definitely the coolest thing that happened was the competition.
I want to hear all about it.
So I had never had any desire to do any sort of big competition. In fact, I was just kind of planning on not doing one for the entirety of my jiu-jitsu career. But Dave gave me an ultimatum. He was like...
He's such a pressurer.
Yeah.
And he lies and says he's not.
Yeah. He was like, hey, there's no way you're going to be able to get your purple belt unless you compete at least once. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. So I guess I got to do one sometime in the near future. And then everybody in the gym was kind of like, oh, Christian, there's a competition next month. You should do it. You should do it. And I was like, okay, peer pressure is going to get to me. I should just get this over with.
Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
But I'm super proud of you. Your first comp and you come away with the gold.
The whole time my goal was just like, don't get your ass beat. Try not to get submitted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't expect to win it at all.
And it was a points tournament, right?
So it was sub only, but like there has to be a winner. So
right.
Basically it felt like a points tournament. Like with all the advantages and stuff that they count up, it really did just kind of feel like a points tournament.
Yeah, they're just scoring points differently.
Yeah. So I was a little shocked. I only got 1 or 2 subs. I got submitted once, which was freaking awful. I think that guy ended up getting last place too.
Oh,
so that
no.
How many matches did you get?
I had 5 matches. So there were 4 other guys. So I won with all 4. And then me and one other guy were tied for first place. And then we went again, and I wore that guy out so bad that once the match ended, he went off the mats, upchucked, and then he technically got disqualified. I think I would have won anyways.
He pulled a Henry and a Raphael.
Yeah. That's what I remember with Raphael. He couldn't come back up at all for them to raise anyone's hand.
As soon as you step off the mat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt pretty solid in that round. I'm sure I would have, that was one of the rounds I felt the most confident in, and I was like, I would have won it.
Yeah.
Well, you did win it.
I'm bummed that I didn't get to see it, but I'm really proud of you. And I squealed to myself when I saw that you got the gold.
Same.
So that was super excited.
It felt pretty good. Now I never have to do a competition again.
See, that's exactly how I feel. You got your medal, you're done. Yeah. You're good.
I can say I won a martial arts tournament, and that feels pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Also, Sam's post was great. What'd she say? You guys, he is an athlete now.
Well, so we always make a joke because I'm the least athletic person in the family. My dad was like a football player, wrestler, all this stuff, and he always wanted me to be an athlete. He wanted to name me Brett Favre, being a Packers fan. My mom wouldn't have that.
Brett Favre.
Yeah. He eventually did get my third brother. His name is Brett. He got the Brett.
But not Favre.
No, it's... Thank God.
Thank goodness. That would have been just bad. Talk about punchable.
Yeah.
So I just had to pull up Sam's post because it did make me giggle. And the caption was, first out of town tournament and he won gold. Take that, everyone. He's an athlete now.
I freaking love her.
Made me giggle so much. So it's cute that, she's so proud of you.
I made sure the first night back, I was like, how's it feel to go to bed with a gold medalist, baby?
That's so hot.
Yeah.
Is that what she said? Or was she like, Christian, I'm pregnant and I'm tired?
That's exactly what she said.
She should wear that gold medal to bed tonight, babe.
Put it on next week.
It's so hot.
I'm going to need that gold medal to keep me warm tonight.
I think you won the roll call this episode. You won the roll call. That was
solid.
great.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Christian. Give the people what they want.
All right. I feel like everyone thinks of me as a pretty nerdy dude. I
Can confirm.
100%.
Love Dungeons and Dragons. I love pretty much any nerdy subject that you can think of. I'm a former dancer, former actor. Pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
I'm a dad of 1.5 kids.
And you have a stunning wife.
I do. She's kind of killer.
I've said it to you before, but I want to be best friends with Sam because she's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you've got a pretty good situation going for yourself, buddy.
I think so.
So where are you from? Where'd you go to school? What's more of like your background story?
So I grew up in Coos Bay my entire life. Was always like a little kid, really thin, gangly looking thing. I had long hair, glasses, braces. I was a very hittable person, okay?
A very hittable. You had a very punchable face.
I did, and I had to talk my way out of a lot of tough situations growing up, which is a big part of the reason why I started doing jiu-jitsu. Now I'm a support worker and I coach jiu-jitsu, and I love it. I love what I do.
What's like a normal day look like for you?
So wake up with my son, feed him, usually do a mountain of dishes because I love to cook. Just really fun at this age. Kind of crazy. A little too hyper.
A little wild.
But yeah, so once I drop him off at the babysitter's, I go do my support worker job. And then around 3 to 4 every day, go coach jujitsu.
Mm-hmm. I personally love seeing you work with the kids because you can just tell that they like you and they respect you and you have fun with them. And
I think a lot of that came from working as like a preschool teacher. I've also always wanted to like have kids.
You
and
became
then,
a dad young.
Yeah. I got married a little bit sooner than I thought I would. Like, I always told Sam that, like, you know, I'm waiting at least 5 years until we get married. Like, that's my minimum. But then my mom died around the 2.5-year mark. And I was like so bummed. I was like, I know I'm going to marry Sam. And for no reason, I put it off. And now my mom doesn't get to see us get married. So like, I can't put this off any longer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
well, I'm really sorry to hear about your mom.
I mean, that's old stuff, but yeah.
So,
Sorry.
no,
He's like carrying on. I'm much that way too. Like, and moving on.
Yeah.
That's
So let's hop over to your dance career, Christian. How did you start dancing?
It was a combination of things like America's Best Dance Crew at the time. You know, that was I was pretty into that, and I was able to do the wave like right off the bat. You know, that
which is not easy.
No,
most people cannot do it.
Most people try to do it. It's really pathetic.
Yeah,
I
have danced my whole life and I can't do it.
And so people were like kind of easily impressed with that, and I never thought anything of it. And then I kind of just got interested. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the dance tonight. Everyone always forms those like circles and everyone's like hopping in, doing their thing. I'm going to go in, and if it goes well for me, I'm going to learn how to dance. So I went in, was just kind of like doing some waving stuff with my whole body, and people liked it. So I was like, okay, I'm hopping all in.
I love this.
Was going down the street with big old headphones on, dancing in front of glass windows wherever I went.
How old were you at this time?
This was probably about 15, 16.
Okay.
Like right around
there.
But it continued on until I was about 18. And, you know, just dancing in public, like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing thinking about it now. But I didn't give a shit. It was embarrassing at the time too, but it was like, oh, you can't let that bother you. You just gotta.
Do you think that jiu-jitsu like and dance mesh together, or they kind of play well, but sometimes not?
So I think like any physical ability that you have can translate to jiu-jitsu in some way. Like obviously someone doing more athletic sports like wrestling or, you know, anything like that, that's going to translate really well. I think where dance for me helped in jiu-jitsu is that I know I have a lot of like bodily awareness.
Right.
You know, And so I feel like I usually have a pretty good idea as to where my weight is going into like keeping a person down or, closing up spaces. And it just like, I'd say bodily awareness is really how dance has helped me in jiu-jitsu.
Nice. Yeah. I thought it was going to be like choreography. Like I would just be able to follow along and learn the movement. But all these years in, I would say that it's not that way.
Yeah,
because everybody speaks jiu-jitsu different.
Yeah.
And it's not choreographed.
For sure.
Let's go back. When did you start teaching dance?
So I started teaching dance, I believe I was 17. Yeah, so I joined a dance studio. This was after I'd already, kind of self-taught myself dance. And this girl teaching a hip-hop class was like, hey, I teach a hip-hop class if you ever want to come join up. And I joined up. I don't want to say that I didn't like learn anything, but I ended up doing a lot of the choreography in the class myself.
Yeah, you knew more.
And so eventually she left and they were like, hey, do you want to teach a street dance class?
Cool.
And
That's
it's like,
fun.
okay, that sounds hip and happening. Like I'll
Hip
go, I'll
and
do that.
happening.
Yes.
It's hippening.
Which
What do you like
Nope.
coaching better? Dance or jiu-jitsu?
jiu-jitsu, but I think a big part of it is that I feel like my teaching ability has matured a lot more since then. Also, it's David's class. Like I kind of run the guppies. Like I can kind of follow his lead and we kind of discuss what we're going to do. I don't know. It makes it a lot less stressful coming up with like a lesson plan or something like that. I love teaching jiu-jitsu.
So how did you get into jiu-jitsu? What made you say, hey, I'm going to go to that gym and sweat all over other dudes?
The traumatic event that sent me to jiu-jitsu was my little brother, Brett Favre, and my cousin were really into MMA. I was never really that interested in it. Could not understand the grappling thing at all. So that it was boring to me. But they were like, oh, come on, just like try wrestling with us. Like we'll go until you like pin us or someone gets a submission or something like that. And it's like, okay, sure. So I wrestle my brother. He's 16 at the time. I pin him. He's like, okay, let's go one more. So I wrestle him to the ground and he throws me in a guillotine. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, my little brother's gonna choke me out, whatever. Well, I remember coming so close to fading, like my vision started going black. I could not breathe. It was terrible. I finally forced my head out of the guillotine, but the rest of the day I was like having trouble breathing and I was like seeing stars and all sorts of crap. And I was like, if my little skinny brother can do this to me.
How much younger is he than you?
Like 8 years younger than me.
Oh, okay, that's very humbling.
Yeah, it was. It was. I love telling people about this because it's like it is. It's just really humbling. But I was like, if some little kid could do this to me, what if I got attacked on the street? What if some guy that actually knows something or someone who's like significantly bigger than me were to, try to do some shit to me? I can't have that.
Yeah.
And now that I have a kid, I'm so glad that I did jiu-jitsu because I feel like I can at least protect my family. And I don't know. For me, it was all self-defense.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That was the event that caused it.
And how long have you been training now?
Over 3 years, 3.5 maybe.
And they both quit, right?
Yeah, my brother and my cousin did eventually join jiu-jitsu, and both of them quit.
I don't think I knew that.
They were here for like 2 months.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
Okay.
And
That's fun.
honestly, they were both like pretty, like they had a lot of natural talent.
They did well.
For it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that I've noticed a lot though is like, it seems like a lot of people that have the natural talent for it that like find success in jiu-jitsu really early on. I feel like a lot of those people end up being the first to dip out. I don't know. I feel like I've just seen that with tons of dudes.
Yeah.
Since
It's
we
all
started.
ego because they have the natural talent and we see that they're doing well, but they don't see it because they're still getting beat.
Yeah.
So they're like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
I didn't want to start training unless I was going to be good at it. So it's a good thing I stuck with it because I'm still waiting.
Right.
But I think that's a common thing is
Yeah.
people expect themselves to be better than they are if you're a naturally like athletic person.
Yeah. When you first started, at what point did you say, okay, I'm going to stick with this? And then on the flip side of that, have you ever gotten in any ruts where you're like, oh, it's such a struggle coming to the gym and getting my ass kicked all the time?
I feel like there's always that kind of struggle going on. Like sometimes more so than others, but like I feel like that comes up constantly. It's just kind of one of those things that like you have to push through it. I know that as soon as I actually get to the gym and I start doing class, it's like, oh, this is great. This is wonderful. But it is hard work. You are going and getting your butt kicked, and there's always that uncertainty of like who you're gonna go with and stuff like that. And so the idea of going to class can be kind of intimidating. I think you just have to push through it, go, and realize that it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was another part of that I completely.
Oh yeah.
zoned out.
At what point did you say like, okay, this is for me?
I think it was around the 6-month mark. That's when I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stick around. I'm going to black belt. And once I finally started finding little successes, like, oh my God, it took me a long time to get my first submission. I think I was in it for like 4 or 5 months before I got I think I got an omoplata. I had to like run up. I was up against the wall and I had to like run up against it and use my legs to get a guy in an omoplata. And I was like, oh, that's amazing.
It's a hit of that
Yeah.
jujitsu high,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what
you're
you're
just
chasing.
chasing that high.
Uh-huh.
There are worse drugs to take.
Yeah. I would agree.
It's just so, it's like all this work that I've been doing, it actually is for something, you know, it's like it's actually effective. It was right when I was getting to that point.
So your wife used to train with us a little bit.
Yeah.
Then fucking knocked her up, you little bitch.
Yeah.
She was
Damn
asking
you.
for it, okay?
Whatever. No, I'm just kidding.
I think so. You know, she's very socially. My wife's a very awkward person.
That's why you're a good match.
Wants
why we
she
love
really
her.
wants her sister to be there with her, which is like a big part of the reason why she stopped. But they both had plans to start training again, and then she got pregnant. But,
She got pregnant. Christian tripped and fell, and Sam got pregnant and ruined her jiu-jitsu.
But now you look at her, like she is constantly sending me like little Instagram jiu-jitsu type reels. Like, okay, when once I have this baby and I get back into it, I'm doing all this flashy shit.
Yeah.
Which is the exact opposite of like my style of jiu-jitsu. I like this like plain vanilla, really boring to watch jiu-jitsu, and she's wanting to do flying arm bars and standing wrist locks and all sorts of
I love it.
crazy shit.
Good. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So, did you pressure her into
No,
starting,
not at
or was
all.
she like, I want to give this a try?
I definitely was like, you should try out like say the self-defense classes and stuff like that. Like, I mean, there's a part of me that was like, I would feel more comfortable knowing that you had a little bit of training, because she likes to go on like long walks and stuff like that during breaks at work, or when she was a nanny at the time. So like she'd go on long walks with her girls, and I definitely liked the idea of her having training, but I don't think I really pressured her or anything like that. Eventually she just decided to give it a try, and I feel like her and Taylor really enjoyed it.
Yeah, they're fun to have in class.
I think they have fun kind of beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
I loved having them in my morning classes.
Yeah.
So I do miss them, and I can't wait for Sam to come back.
Yeah.
Taylor too. Come on, lady.
So I want to talk a little bit more about dad life and like balancing dad life with husband duties and coaching and your other job and like so much going on. How do you balance all of that?
So it's definitely a little bit of a struggle, just because it's not just me going to class a few times a week. I am, I'm coaching pretty much right when she gets off work. I start coaching, and so there are a few days of the week where I come home and she's already in bed, and then I don't see her until like that's a big part of the reason why I don't usually train 2 days in a row is so that I can go see my wife. And I see my kid a lot. I see him a good chunk of the day before I start working. My support worker job, I have extremely flexible hours, and sometimes I go to work and I mean, he's not even awake. He's been up all night. So then I just end up going home and spending time with my kid. But I definitely wish I had a little bit more time in the week to spend with my wife.
Yeah.
I think that was one thing that I did like about her coming and training too, is like I even get to see her a little bit more and stuff.
Yeah.
I know that's part of why Jesse really, really wanted me to train is because he told me, I'm never going to stop doing jiu-jitsu. So if you would like to see me more, you need to start training. Otherwise, I'm going to be at the gym. And I know it's different for you guys because you have little kids. Whereas,
Sam's pretty supportive of me, like doing it and everything. I think it's just like on the inside, I'm kind of like, I would like to spend more time with my wife,
And that like makes you such a good husband.
Well, thank you.
And also, you're a really good training partner. So you're like a great partner to Sam and a great training partner to all of us at the gym.
Yes.
And Sam, thank you for sharing him with us 3 nights a week. And I love hearing you talk about Sam because like I can see the love you have for her and it warms my heart. So
how did you guys meet? Did you guys meet in high school?
No. So I technically saw her in high school.
Okay.
She always had a scowl on her face every time I saw her walking through the halls. I'm like, I was like a fucking bitch.
She just don't have time for anybody's bullshit.
She doesn't. She absolutely doesn't. Yeah, anyone that knows Sam would say that exact same phrase about her. When I was teaching preschool, she eventually started working at the preschool that I was at, and I started hearing from my coworkers that she had the hots for me. At one point, we were doing like a dress-up day with the kids, and I came to work in a construction hat and like a flannel, and she couldn't even be in the same room as me. She was like
she was undressing you with her eyes.
she couldn't look at me.
You got this woman hot and bothered.
Yeah. Eventually, it was a long time. I mean, at the time, I was not going after her or anything like that. And eventually things just kind of happen, I think one of the things that she really liked about me was seeing how I was with like the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Generally, kids have always kind of liked me, and
they feel
I think
safe
that
with
was
you.
a big part of it because Sam loves kids.
You guys are such a good match, and I just love it. When you started training jiu-jitsu, I know you said it's a good feeling to feel like you can protect your family.
Yeah.
What else do you feel like jiu-jitsu has like given you, whether it's in terms of like just how you feel about yourself?
The biggest thing is confidence. Like, I never had any self-confidence. I never could stick up for myself or anything growing up. Like I said, I've had to talk my way out of getting my ass kicked pretty much my whole life. I got bullied in high school, got trash canned, all that kind of jazz.
Oh.
And now I feel so confident just like walking down the street. I like went to my high school reunion and I just felt so unbelievably, I feel way better about myself than I ever have. Just from all the time and effort that I put into learning how to defend myself.
I would say that you definitely carry yourself like you're very secure and confident.
Absolutely.
And you're definitely like awkward and nerdy, but
Right,
you're
right.
still like secure and confident. And I mean, I feel like jiu-jitsu has done that for me as well.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I would have never guessed, like knowing you now, I would have never guessed that like you were bullied and stuff because like you just are like a strong dude. I would think like, oh, this is one of like the coolest kids in school.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it's the dressing up for Dungeons and Dragons.
It is, dude. every
week.
The past couple Wednesdays, I'm like, dude, Christian, you look so good, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to Dungeons and Dragons.
Just for the record, I'm not dressing up in elf ears or anything like that right now. Okay,
right now.
I might have done that before in the past.
Currently, you're dressing like you're going on a date.
Currently, I'm running a cyberpunk campaign, so I have to look high tech, low life. Okay, that's the get up I'm going for.
Okay, I see it now.
And he works it. He pulls it off so well. So, like I said,
fresh to death.
Like one of the coolest kids in school. I would have wanted to be your friend.
I think most people would agree with you there.
Well, I love that jiu-jitsu, helped you build confidence. I think that does that for a lot of people. And I think that's super important. And like as a dad, I think it's really awesome that your kid gets to look up to a dad that can defend himself, is secure and confident with himself, because it really impacts the way your kids view themselves, right? Because they learn what they see from you.
I don't want to push my kid into jiu-jitsu too much, but like I would really, really like him to want to do jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to teach him little skills through games. Like he'll try to take my back. And then I try to shake him off my back. Or he's been trying to armbar me lately. He'll wrap his whole body around my arm and start like trying to pull on it. And but if I could instill in him the confidence that I feel now early on, I think that I think he'd have a much better life than I had growing up.
Yeah.
I'll have to show you guys a picture of what I looked like in high school.
I would love to see
He's like part my hair down the middle, down to my
You know what? No, I think I've actually deep dived into your Facebook profile picture. So.
Oh, shit.
I want to talk a little bit more about competition, though.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about like, oh, there's no, like, I don't want to compete. I don't compete. You didn't want to. You weren't interested. But, it's a good decision. So what finally... Because, peer pressure is all good and fine, but you still, at the day of, you don't have to step on the mat, right? So what made you finally decide that you're going to go and try it once?
Like I said, I do hate that, like, the nerve buildup, everything leading up to the competition. That is the main reason that I don't like it. But at the same time, I feel like that is where you truly test yourself. Like, you're going against people with the same, like, roughly the same physical attributes as you, the same level of training. It's the biggest test for yourself. I also think because of the intensity, like this is someone that's not just playing jiu-jitsu with you now. This is somebody trying to take you out. I feel like in terms of like self-defense, that's the best training that you could get.
Right.
And also ever since that competition, I think my jiu-jitsu's improved a lot by like looking at, what I screwed up on. Honestly, I might have won, but when I watch the videos, I'm like, this is your trashiest jiu-jitsu yet. Like,
but you find the holes in your game that you work on and you improve.
It just creates a quick level up to everything of like, oh, I handle like all this is not a problem at home in the home gym, but like if I got out with somebody else that was either less trained, not trained at all, more trained, like where am I lacking?
Yeah.
Right.
I went for a couple like clock chokes and could not get one to work. And since then, I've fixed what I screwed up on.
Yeah.
And I've been getting a bunch of clock chokes at the gym.
Which is great.
But like, just like find all those like missing details. And yeah, I think that's probably the best use of competition, like you said, is filling those holes.
Did you have to cut weight, or what was your prep like?
Oh, well, so I really did not want to weight cut. Like that was I'd rather go against even bigger guys, I think, than try to weight cut. Also, I don't know, like I guess I'm not old, but like I feel like trying to weight cut at this age seems like a real pain in the ass. I don't know, just I don't want to do it. The idea of it feels
it sucks. It sucks.
I love eating way too much. Like I don't want to stop enjoying all the foods that I always do, and that's probably a little weakness. My part. I don't want to.
I mean, you won
go
gold.
Through the hardship.
Would you tell us what it was like stepping on how big was the competition? How many mats? 6?
There were I think 6, maybe 8. I think it was 6.
So how does that feel, stepping onto those mats? Because you've done stage before, right? So that's
where once I was on the mats, suddenly everything's fine and easy.
Yeah.
Well, easier.
It's a performance.
It's not like there's still that degree of it, but that's how it was with theater and dance also, was like everything's fucking awful until I step on the stage and it's time to, do my job.
Yeah.
At that point, like, I feel like all of my fears were gone and I could kind of just focus on this dude in front of me. But also with all those other mats going, I think that took a little bit of the pressure off.
Right.
Because it feels more like you're training.
Now it's just just the only people that are watching are like the freaking 6 dudes.
It's the small people in front of you that are trying to coach you.
Did you find yourself startled at all at the very start with like how the intensity and how hard they were going at you? Because I know that the first time I did a round like that, I was startled as fuck.
Yeah, the speed and the like strength of people's grips and everything. I didn't even realize how. I don't feel like I grab onto people's gis especially hard or anything when I'm training at the gym, but my second round, we did like a solid 2-3 minutes just trying to take each other down, and at the end of the round, my like thumb wasn't working. Like the muscle down in my hand was I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do any of that judo shit. I'm not going to be able to get any grips. So my third round, I was like, I'm going to shoot on this guy. He's not going to see it coming. That's when I ended up losing. I never squeeze onto someone's collar that tightly. And
it's like you don't even realize you're doing it that much in the middle of it. And then afterwards, everything is like tingling.
Yeah. And your forearms are just shot. It's just, ugh.
So what would you say your biggest takeaway from competition was?
I'm glad I did the entire experience. Obviously, like, winning was great. It was cool to go up there with like David and Jesse. Like we said, I learned a lot about my own jiu-jitsu from it. And I think there were tons of positives there. I don't really want to do another competition anytime in the near future. Yeah. Maybe towards the end of purple belt or something, maybe I'll be peer pressured into doing it again. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't going in there expecting to win or anything. That was just like a big old cherry on top. I just wanted to test myself. And I think if I was going out there with a bunch of brown belts, the pressure probably still would have been equally as bad for me. Mm-hmm. It's not about, oh, am I going to beat all these guys? It's more of just the test of my jiu-jitsu, Yeah. How well am I doing at that moment?
Yeah, you're competing with yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I have a couple more questions before we get into the chill zone. Question number 1.
Yes.
What would you tell yourself 3 years ago? So what would you say to white belt Christian?
I definitely want to tell myself, like, you're going to get your ass kicked a lot, but like you're going to get like so much better. Eventually you're going to feel freaking phenomenal about yourself.
Because now you do the ass kicking.
Now I get to do a lot of the ass kicking.
You do.
I still get my ass kicked, guys. Like, you know, I get a fair share of it, but I do get to beat some ass, and that's somewhere I never really imagined myself.
And then my other question was, what would you tell Christian, the expecting dad, 3 years ago? Because
Well,
you're about to have another one.
Yeah. So I can definitely say right now, I am hardly at all stressed about having the second kid. Like I've been there, I've done that. I don't stress out so hard. They are way tougher. Babies are way tougher than they appear to be.
Yes. Yes, they are.
So I think the answer to both of those questions, to wrap that up, is it gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better as a parent. It gets better. It gets easier as a jiu-jitsu player. It gets better. It does not get easier, but it gets better.
Yeah, better is not the same as easier.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. Christian, we always kind of round everything out with something called the chill zone, where we talk about like how you unwind, what you do to like chill out besides jiu-jitsu. So what are you doing to unwind and chill out?
I always go through like little phases of things that like I have a lot of hobbies. Currently, I'm really into cocktails. More the act of cocksmithing, okay? Like I like to try recipes for cocktails. I like to create my own recipes for cocktails. I love making syrups and liqueurs and things like that.
That's cool.
I like the act of doing it makes me think of like 6-year-old Christian trying to make potions or something like that.
Yeah, that's
Right?
so cute.
That's exactly what it is, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I have a lot of fun doing that.
Sounds like your next career is going to be a mixologist.
I'm
Or a cocksmith.
so I prefer cocksmith.
I think that's what we're going with.
Yeah.
Mixologist is so 2024.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's a cocksmith. Got it. Well,
But
I'll
that's
hire you for my next party as my cocksmith.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to take pictures of the cocksmithing.
Yeah. Cocksmith Chrissy here.
Cocksmith Chrissy boy.
Oh my God.
What's
my
your chill zone today, Jen?
I might try to sit outside today.
Yeah.
It's not really warm, but you know, we'll see. Not a lot. Just smoking some weed, hanging out.
Hell yeah.
I got to work today. Just kidding.
So today my fun thing is, well, this morning I took my precious 3-legged dog out for a little meandering around because today is my 10-year anniversary since I adopted her.
So cute.
And we have been through a lot together, me and my girl. So I'm gonna go home and cuddle up with her on the couch and probably take a nap because I'm super exhausted. And then she's gonna get all the treats today. So
Very nice.
my girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a lot of fun getting to chat with you, Christian. And like I said earlier, I love training with you. I think you're a super fun training partner.
That's how I
And
feel about you guys too.
you've definitely made me better, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So,
right back at
100%.
you.
My goal with Christian is to never hit the ground. If I can stay standing, I might have a chance. But as soon as I'm on the ground, I'm done.
Well,
Christian,
thank you
what
guys.
would you tell one last thought on people that are wanting to start jiu-jitsu or maybe have thought about it? And
Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like it's not as scary as it seems.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
well, this has been awesome.
It has been awesome. Thank you, Lemon Drop Chrissy.
Thank you guys.
Chrissy boy, the cocksmith.
Love it. Everything
Cocksmith
about
Chrissy.
it.
An
Cocksmith Chrissy.
awesome jiu-jitsu friend, a dad, and partner to Sam. We're all lucky to have you. So
Thank you very much.
come train with Chrissy boy, and send your kids to come be coached by him. So also like, subscribe, and share our podcast. Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye guys.